My name is Joe Dupree. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Custom Wholesale Floors, Inc., based out of Jacksonville, Florida. I believe we started doing business with UA around 1999, so it's been a really long, healthy relationship, partnership, business relationship with UA. I believe we may have been one of their first US customers back in 1999. It's an interesting story. At that particular time in the Florida market, there was a growing need for exotic engineered hardwood flooring. And at that time, that wasn't available. It was mainly American white oak, American red oak, hickory, and maple. And so we, through the different trade shows, international trade shows, we met UA, and we discovered that they were making engineered exotic hardwood flooring for different markets. In working with them and modifying the specification to the US market, they were able to make a product for us that was very successful. I believe it was called City Plank initially, and we were one of the first distributors and marketers of a engineered exotic hardwood flooring in the Southeast. And again, it was one of the few, not only exotics in an engineered format, but also with a sawn veneer. It was a 3mm sawn veneer, which was very unique for its time. Well, I mean, I think when you go back to when we first started doing business with UA in 1999 to present day, you know, we've always found that they've been very responsive to our needs. Whatever our local market needs and requires, UA has been very responsive at addressing those needs and designing and developing products to this, specifications for what we need. If you look at a lot of the domestic manufacturing, it's quite the opposite. They make a product and then they force you to sell it. You may not have the consumer for it, but they want you to sell it because that's what they make. UA has always taken a different approach, more of a localized demand approach, and that what your customers are asking for, we want to make that for them, and I think that's what's made our relationship so successful over the years. We have a long history of working together, quality products. Our claim ratio is almost non-existent, and when claims do come up, which it's impossible to always make a perfect product, UA has always been very responsive and they've taken care of a situation if it's deemed to be a manufacturing defect. In terms of specific projects, we recently, last year, we did an 80,000 square foot project of Old Charleston heart pine in the wide width, 7.5-inch width, that was shipped to Charleston, coincidentally. And that was for residential units, and it was very successful. In fact, there was a smaller project that we got shortly after because of that larger project. So we have, every year we have some sort of project that we're working with UA. All the projects are extremely important to us, but we place a lot of value also in the smaller 1,000-foot jobs to Susie homeowner for residential remodel. Or the smaller builders. So there's all types of different business components that we do with UA, and again, they've always been a good partner for us. From the sustainability standpoint, UA was one of the first that I can remember making an engineered hard pine, and of course the reclaimed hard pine, and all that material is sourced from old buildings, old bridges, old barns, wherever they can find this material that basically was of no use. They go in, they pull the building apart and condition the lumber and recondition it and format it into wood flooring. So not only do you have something that is sustainable, that no additional tree was cut down to make into flooring, but you have a history story that you can tell about your floor. This antique reclaimed heart pine floor that I have in my house, was cut down over 100 years ago by a tree that maybe was 200 or 300 years old. And so I think that has a unique story for somebody to, to tell about their hardwood floor. Well, there's been so many over the years, and as the trends change, my favorites have always changed. There was a time where exotics were extremely popular, and Santos mahogany at that time was a favorite of mine. Then the trend started to go more towards lighter colors, and I think UA Floors has one of the nicest maples, Canadian maples, in particular in their Grecian series. To get a sawn select and better face maple in a contemporary setting, I think it's one of the prettiest floors that you'll see. And of course nowadays European white oak is extremely popular. American walnut is extremely popular. So it's hard to pick one, because over the 25 years that I've been doing this, trends change and personal tastes have changed. So right now, I would probably say that a European white oak smoked in their Parisian series would be a favorite of mine. No, I mean, from a product support standpoint, UA has always been fantastic. However you develop the product, whether it's matching a competitive product on the market for a project or developing a product from scratch, UA has always been very responsive to getting that done. And that, that's obviously the initial phase of any project is coming up with the right color, the look, the specification, the wear layer, the lengths, all the intricacies that are involved with developing a product. And then once that's done and it's approved and signed off on, the time to produce has always been very good, and the end result has been that the contractor and the builder are very pleased with the quality of the floor and the look and the consistency. And 1 year, 2 years down the road, the fact that there's virtually zero, or a very small number of claims, and no builder wants to have claims after a project. No distributor wants to have claims after a project. So, really just overall, we have a great level of confidence with the whole process with project work with UA. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Whether it's a product or labor, it's always an uncomfortable feeling for me personally to recommend something, because the last thing you want is a friend or a family to have a product that they're disappointed with later, or labor that is not up to par. So I always have felt comfortable steering my friends and family to UA, because I know that it's a superior quality level, and if for some reason there is a problem, then I know they're going to stand behind the product. And so yes, I absolutely would.